Because I remember the first time when you said you call them your kids, and then after a while I'm like, that's a true commitment. But it is, because like it's more than just saying, okay, you come, you pay, you get the dance, you go. No, this is like, I'm committed to you, I want you to grow, and I'm there like 100%. And not everybody does that. Not every school do that.
No, definitely not. I remember being at a dance competition one time, and a teacher from another studio commented, she's like, wow, you're really in it for the kids. And I was like, aren't you supposed to be? Like it's like it really struck me.
Yeah.
Until like I really kind of again started to pay attention, and I thought, wow, like there's unfortunately, and I imagine this isn't only in dance, it's probably across a lot of, extracurricular activities, they're either in it for the money, or it's just the basic of
like a limit,
what
like
it can be. And to me, I don't know if it's just because of the way I was raised, I always had a very supportive mother who was there, who just gave me so many experiences and opportunities, and kind of followed up on my progress as well. So for me, when I started the studio, like I just wanted a place not only where it was affordable and they could learn authentic hip hop without having to take the ballet and the jazz and whatever. I wanted a place where they could feel comfortable and they felt like it was a family. They didn't have to worry about bullying. They didn't have to worry about being, not accepted. And I think that really worked. Like our two principles are family and respect. So every kid that walks through the door of our studio, the first day, they sit down in the circle and we say, okay, welcome. Just so you know, respect, treat others the way you want to be treated, respect each other, respect yourselves, respect the space, and it's family. Everyone here is a big family. What does a family do? And the kids say, well, they look out for each other, they love, they care for one another, and I said, that's exactly what we do. So if there's somebody that's struggling with a move or doesn't maybe understand or whatever, do you laugh and point at that person? No, No, you end up helping. See, just like, and then they react just like you did. No, you help them out, and then that just sets the precedent for the rest of the year.
And imagine that stays and kind of help.
Yeah, and it does because then the kids, they enjoy coming to class. It's like it's something to look forward to. I mean, I've heard stories of clients bringing, they're coming from this program or this other place, and like they didn't really know the people in their class, and it just
happens a lot.
And I was like, really? I'm like, how could you be in a program for X amount of months or a year even, and then not know the people in your class? I was like, to me that's like super odd and super awkward, and like that wouldn't be something you want to,
especially dancing.
Because it's a team, and that's the thing too. Like it is. You need to be connected.
It shows on stage.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you need to. Not only for performance and competition purposes is it good to be like all in sync and go the same way at the same time and have the same amount of energy. But like, if somebody has a problem with somebody else or doesn't like it, like it's gonna show, and you're not gonna perform at your best. So. Unfortunately, I've heard of a lot of other stories, where there's bullying within the schools or the studios, and there's people that feel less adequate or things like that, and I don't think that makes the best environment to learn or have fun. And when you go on stage, it's not going to be at your best. So for me, family was really important, and I always told the older kids, you look after the younger ones, and now the younger ones are older, and I said just the same way that, like, I'm at that point now because it's going to be our 10th season, so now I got the kids that were 6 and 7. They're about 12, 13, 14, and it's like, okay, now your turn.
Watch the younger ones.
Just like how the older ones that are still around, like the seniors, you guys now get to, and you see them kind of be like, oh, like it's my turn.
So cool.
So it's beautiful for me when I sit back and sometimes and I ask like some of my older ones to run something for me, like especially if I'm dealing with something, like it's kind of beautiful to look over your shoulder and see that they really care. They genuinely care about each other.
Because they were cared for from the get-go, so obviously.
But it's still nice to see though. Like as like I know I did that for them, but it's just so nice to see them continuing that and really watching out for each other. Like those were little moments, like they won't see it, but like I'll have like a cute tear. Actually, I did cry once because there was a particular rehearsal, and I can't remember what I had asked them to do, and I was just like, I just started bawling. I was just like,
that's so cute.
It was just so beautiful because I'm seeing different generations of my kids, now working together and really helping each other out. So I was like, oh. So they put these, and I do that more often. I just try not to let them see it, or I'll go home and I'll be like, "This was such a good day." So that's really the joy again of my job. Also, is that I get to see individuals grow.
Yeah.
Is it extra work to follow up and make sure that they're? Yeah, it is. But in the end, you know, I find it's worth it. Even if they leave and they pretend like you were never a part of their lives, which, you know, I've had, you know, because it happens, you know, 10 years, thousands of students, you know. You know, and it hurts. Hurts a little bit.
I can imagine.
You know, for a
when
while.
You're so involved, of course.
You know, so it hurts. But, you know, like, you know, in your heart and your mind that, you know, you've helped them or you've made some sort of impact, and even if they don't want to acknowledge it, you know,
you're still part of them, whether they know it
or
not.
someone told me, they're like, they'll come around, they'll remember one of these days when they're older. And I was like, and those are sometimes things you just need to take. And I think that's especially if you're a teacher, doesn't matter in school or you're a coach, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, you put so much into your students, and then if they leave, or they just, or maybe it's not even them themselves, or it's the parents that are like, you know, peace out, thanks for nothing. You know, you kind of go, like the first time I was like, oh my God, and then I was like, who's next? And I think some teachers do become bitter because of that. Like, if you ever, you know, you have like teachers at school that seem just really grouchy and uninterested. I think, personally, they've just been burned really bad, or they had that student or group of students that they tried so much, and then something must have happened where, again, it goes back to, as a human, you want to feel appreciated for what you've done. And do you need to get a pat on your shoulder every day? No. But it hurts like hell when you've invested so much time and then you don't either get the recognition, or there's no appreciation, or they leave without so much as an acknowledgement of anything, or they talk bad about you on top of that. Like, you know, you know, those are the things that, you know, you go, oh, you know, man, like, well, what am I doing? Maybe I should just teach a dance class to not get so involved. But, you know, then you look at the ones that you still have and you think, you know, okay, you're always going to have a few. You're always going to have a few that, I mean, you can't please everyone, that too. It's easier to say than to accept.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's across any business or whatever you're doing. Like, people will always find something to criticize. You can be, like, as flawless as possible. It's human nature. It's human nature to be greedy and want what you have, so they want to bring you down. It's human nature to hate. Like, I wish we could just all be happy for one another, or, you know, you feel that twinge of jealousy, but then you're like, you know what, like, I wish I could be doing you right now, but, you know, good for you. You know, I just gotta work a little bit harder on mine. And there's not a lot of people, like, I try to teach my kids that. I'm like, if you lose, like, you know, either the judges were crazy, or, you know, the other team was just better, and we gotta go back, and we gotta train more, and then go again. You know, jealousy or hating or trying to bring someone down to make yourself feel good, and, you know, it doesn't get anywhere, and it's a lot of negative energy on your part wasted. And then, you know, but I get that sometimes too, is the reverse. Like, some of my kids get hated on in their schools because they hear how good, they see how good of the dancers they are, they know all the stuff they get to do, and they're jealous. So there's a lot that I have to talk them through, like, it's gonna happen.
Navigate that whole
but you can't, you know, it's hard. Right? Because if you have people, especially with social media, being negative on Twitter, being negative on Instagram, or whatever they're doing these days, like, kids are, they've taken the cruelty of bullying to a whole nother level, let me tell you.
It's a different stage,
Not when me and you were growing up, because the thing is, I found for bullying, like, in our day, when you were home, like, that was it.
It's done. You're done.
Now it's like you can go home and the bullying can follow you because it's on your phone, it's on your, you know, whatever. So, you know, I've had some kids that I had to say, like, you know, this is human nature, this is how they are. You can, you know, either confront them and say, you know, what's the problem, like, what do you want? You know, that kind of thing, because sometimes confrontation helps. And I'm like, you just gotta let it go. You just gotta let it be. You can't pay them no mind. Don't dumb your talent down just to make them feel better, or don't let it affect you, because that's what they want. If you start crying, if they're trying to provoke you and you do act, that's what they want. Do not give them what they want. You gotta stand way above that. And I know it's hard. It's super hard. For everybody, it's something that I find holds a lot of people back. Or people are always like, oh my God, what do people think if I'm gonna do this? Or, Like, I don't want to approach the celebrity or famous person when I see them because maybe they'll think I'm weird, or they might reject, rejection.
Yeah, especially at that age.
Is another thing. Rejection
Yeah.
is scary. Well, I think it's scary for anybody.
Yeah. But like, I'm thinking teenage years, like when you start to get into that preteen thing, wanting to be part of the group.
So and then that's another reason why I think for me the family is so important, because we do have like recreational programs that are like 11 to 12, 13, 14, 15 to 18, things like that. But yeah, all in all, family is great. It's great to see. And then just navigating and dealing with the hurt that can come from being so invested in your service or your product or your clients. It's hard sometimes, but you just, like in anything, you just gotta, even like haters or anything, you just gotta persevere. And I found personally that by finding ways to still love and still give despite what I know could be a possible outcome, because I know at any day and time, any of them can turn around and be like, bye. I found that still has been benefit more so than if I would have been like, turn my heart off and be cold and things like that. So it's difficult. It can be done. And I think at the end of the day, it'll be more worth it. So.